Hello boys and girls, it's Fergus from Blackhall St Columba's Church here to give you another message. And today we are enjoying the beautiful sunshine and we're out in the manse garden because today's a very special day. I want us to think about Harvest Sunday. We have a big celebration, harvest. Now what is harvest? Harvest's a funny word. We harvest when we collect in the food that is ready to be collected. It has grown and it's ready to be picked, or another word we use in the Bible is reaped. We gather it in and we harvest. God had something to say about the harvest, and I'm going to read it to you now. He said, "Celebrate the festival of harvest with the first fruits of the crops you sow in your field. Celebrate the festival of ingathering at the end of the year when you gather your crops from the field." That was written in the book of Exodus, and he talks about, God says how we need to celebrate the fact that we can grow food and we can harvest. So I'm in the manse garden. This is my first year in the manse garden. I'm still learning what we've got growing, and I want to show you some of the things we've got growing. Come on over here and have a wee look at this bush. It doesn't look great here, it's a bit jaggy, but when I come down here, look at this here. Do you know what that is? Can you see what I've found growing in the manse garden? I've got a raspberry bush. Now I'm going to need to do a bit of work for next year, and hopefully next year we'll get even more raspberries than that. But come on over here, I've got other stuff that I'd like to show you. I made a raised bed, and using some stuff that somebody kindly gave me, you can see some tall plants there growing up. That's called kale. And that tastes lovely. I need to cook that off. And in front of the kale, this way, you can see some green shoots there from some red onions. But none of that's quite ready to be harvested yet. What I want to do now is look at this. Now, I've shown you this before in the manse garden. This is my apple tree. And look at these. Look at these beautiful red apples. And I'm going to harvest some of these now, and we'll show you what we can do with it. So I'm going to harvest about 10 of these apples now, and then we're going to go somewhere else and I'll show you a wee bit more about harvesting. But you can wait and you can join me there in a minute. Let's just watch for a second as I start to harvest some of these beautiful apples, and I'll show you what we can do with them later. Hello again then. I wonder if you recognise where we are now. I've come a short bit away from the manse, and I'm now on one of the many cycle paths that we've got around Edinburgh. And I'm going to look at what else we can do harvesting round here. All along the side rows here there are things we can look at. And look at this bush here. This is a bush. I wonder if you know what these are. They look a little, if you look at the top, they look a little bit like raspberries, but actually these are blackberries. We can see some red ones here. They're just not ripe yet. But what we're going to do is look for the really black ones, and I'm going to pick these and I'm going to put them into my tub here. My tub is an old Chinese takeaway container because we've got to always remember to reduce, reuse and recycle wherever we go. But I'm going to come along the bank here and I'm going to try and pick a few of these nice, ripe, juicy blackberries. And then we'll go back to the manse and we'll see what we can do with my harvested blackberries and my harvested apples. Okay, I'll see you back at the manse. Hello again. We're back in the manse and we're going to start preparing the apples and the blackberries. I'm going to show you a photograph of them, a few photographs of the different stages of us preparing the apples and the blackberries ready to make the apple and blackcurrant crumble. Okay? Okay, boys and girls, so we've now got the apples and they've been cooked off a wee bit. We're going to add these blackberries that we picked off down at the cycle path. We're going to put all of these in here and we're going to mix them through and cook them off a wee bit. Come and have a look at them all mixed together. The apples and the blackberries. That's looking nice already, but it's got a wee bit more to do. And then in order to make the crumble top, we've got some melted butter here. And we're going to add this in here and knife through that. And then what I'll do is I'll come back to you a minute or two and we will see how we're getting on with the crumble. Okay, so that's the apples and the blackberries are now cooked off for a bit and we need to put them into a dish, a nice oven-proof dish. Just hope we've got a big enough dish here. That's looking nice. And then we're going to cover that with our crumble mixture here and we'll pop it in the oven. Okay everybody, so that's the crumble mix now on, and I'm just going to take that and we're going to pop it into the oven. We're going to just slip it in there. When that's ready, we'll bring it out. Oh, it's needing to go in the side. We'll get that out when it's ready and it will be a delicious apple and blackberry crumble. Okay, so we've now had the crumble in the oven for about half an hour. I've got my gloves on because it will be hot. Hopefully it will be nice and hot. We're going to bring it out. Here we go. That's looking nice. You can see some of the juices coming out. Let's see if we can just serve a bit of that. Oh, that looks good, doesn't it? That looks lovely. Some nice hot apple and blackberry crumble. So, I've got everything I need now to celebrate my harvest festival with this hot apple crumble with blackberries, and I'm going to have that with some lovely ice cream. And it's important that we celebrate things in life. It's also important that when we're celebrating things, we need to thank people. And I have a few thank yous to say myself. I need to thank Heather and Shona, my wife, for helping me to pick the apples and prepare them, and pick the blackberries and prepare them, and help me to bake this crumble, and also to help me with the filming. But there's somebody else I need to say thank you to, and that's the person who provided the apples in the first place, who provided the blackberries, but provided so much more. In fact, provided everything. Everything like the milk that will go into the ice cream, and that's God. And it's really important we remember to thank God for things, particularly when we're eating. And a nice way to thank God for what we're eating is to say a thing called grace. And a very simple grace that people can say is, for what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly thankful. For what we are about to receive, May the Lord make us truly thankful. And we can do that not just at harvest time, we can do that for every meal and every time we're going to eat something. We can thank God and remind ourselves that whatever it is we're having, all the ingredients for it were made by God for us and our pleasure and our nourishment. And that's a really good thing to remember every time we eat. So, why don't you do that next time you're having something to eat? Remember to thank God for everything. I hope you have managed to have a really nice festival, some form of celebration at harvest time, whether you're down picking blackberries and making a crumble or whether you're doing something else. Have a really nice time, and I look forward to speaking to you all again next week with another message. God bless. Bye.